Welcome back to Expressions of Destiny podcast. Today is Faith-Filled Friday. Today, I want to talk to you about promises, God's promises, just the seasons that we may be going through right now, transitions, things that maybe were unexpected, things that maybe we're trying to figure out. And really, I just want to encourage you today. So I want to share with you some of the things that were on my heart. Specifically this morning, the Lord really reminded me through the worship time. I know I've shared on here when I'm getting up and getting ready in the morning. It's straight Pandora with my worship music and the different groups that I may prefer to listen to. And God always ends up speaking. And so I want to encourage you to take that time. That time is so important. Every single morning when you get up, give that time, dedicate that time to the Lord. You may be doing something else while you're in that mode of worship. You may be, getting yourself ready for the day. You might be cooking breakfast, whatever it is. But set that atmosphere first thing in the morning. Put that music on. Allow those words to just speak to you and minister to you. Music alone is powerful. And I know I'm getting off on a tangent here, but I need to explain to you the importance of this. That music is powerful. Just the music itself, the chords, the instruments, that is what takes us and sets us into an atmosphere of whatever it is that we're listening to. And that's why it's important for us to feed ourselves with the positive words and the positive phrases, the positive lyrics, the things that are going to speak life into us and over us. And so when the music comes on, and that's why I love Pandora, because it's so random. I may have my certain people that I love to listen to, but the songs that pop up are random. There's no set playlist. And it's amazing how God speaks every single time through the words that are randomly listed and brought up. Those words, those songs that play are just in a random order. And so I pay attention to that on purpose for that reason. So I know that when a particular song comes up, I'll stop to listen to the words, and then I'll begin to pay attention to the next song. And it never fails. God never ceases to amaze me that every single song aligns with one another. It's like He's telling a story. It's like He's talking to us. He's answering those questions that maybe we had earlier in the week. He's speaking to us through these songs and sharing His heart with us, because if that is the way that we know to hear Him and to listen, because we have dedicated that moment and that time, then He will speak. And so this morning it was amazing how every single song had to do with, spoke about His promises. It spoke about how He is always there. He never changes. It was just a constant reminder of who He is in our life. And it was just so beautiful, because sometimes we just need to be reminded of who He is, what He does, how He takes care of us, how He provides for us. In the moments where we may be feeling defeated, He speaks and says, I am who I am. I am your Father. I will care for you. And so as I was listening to the different lyrics of these songs, a lot of them mentioned, the wilderness. And that is one thing that I think we fail to pay attention to, is that wilderness was a season. And so God took the children of Israel out of Egypt. He took them out of bondage. He took them out from being chained and shackled. And believe it or not every Israelite left. Some of them were so confined and so used to a routine and being chained and in slavery that they chose to stay there. But those that left walked out with such purpose. They walked out, confident, knowing, okay, finally we have made it to this place of freedom. But as they began to walk away from Egypt, the thing that they knew, and they began to travel, fear set in and questions set in, and things began to happen in their mind where they were trying to figure out if that was the right decision that they made. They stepped out in faith out of excitement and then began to question the very thing that God had brought, the very moment that God had brought them out of. And isn't that the way that we walk in our daily life? And, we're confident, we're excited, we see things shifting, we see things moving, then all of a sudden fear sets in and we say, did I make the right decision? Instead of saying, Lord, I know I heard your voice, so I'm going to keep going and doing what I know you have instructed and called me to do. I'm going to trust that you're going to take care of me. But instead, our flesh sets in and we begin to question and say, did I make the right decision? It wasn't about you. It was about what God had for you. It was about what he wanted to do within you to build your confidence in your faith and trust and knowing that he is going to lead you out of that Egypt. He's going to lead you out of that bondage. And so the story gets interesting because as they cross over and they see their enemy defeated, those that left, they see their enemy defeated under the waters. And they begin to walk what should have taken 11 days to get to the promised land, to get to those promises that God spoke to them. What should have only taken 11 days took 40 years. And in those 40 years, they complained, they murmured, they whined, they questioned. Instead of just walking straight ahead with their focus on God, and saying, Lord, here I am. I'm going to do what it is that you called me to do. I'm going to walk in the direction that you're telling me to walk. I'm going to trust that you're going to provide for me all of the way. Even in the moments where I feel like, or maybe it seems like things are not happening fast enough, I know you're still going to take care of me. I know you're still going to provide for me. But instead of doing that, they decided to complain and to question why they even left, question, if things were even going to work out, question if they were going to be left for dead instead of trusting. And so it took them 40 years and generations dying off, people who never even had an opportunity to see the promises of God when they should have been there in 11 days' time. That journey was only an 11-day walk. Isn't it interesting how we do that in our own life, in our own situations? We question and we backtrack and we step back and we think, did I make the right decision? Maybe I should go back to this. Maybe this wasn't supposed to be. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe. Instead of allowing God to guide us and instruct us, it is a day-by-day trust and faith. It's not a, Lord, show me what's going to happen and so that I can be confident in knowing that I can see the future. No, we are establishing a relationship and trust with him. We are saying trust, or he is saying to us, trust me. Just like a father tells their child when he says, come on out into the water. It's like when we go to the beach and the girls were younger and their daddy would say, come on out to the water. Just come out further. You're not going to sink. It's not too deep. Look at me. I'm standing right here. I'm standing in the water and I'm not sinking. You can see how deep it is based off of where the water level is at on my body. And although the girls were still scared and they still feared, they would slowly walk out to him. And he'd have his hand out for them every single time. And when they got to him, they were so relieved to see that there was no danger. And at the same time, their daddy was there. That's how our Father wants to see us trust him, even when we're not sure. We think there's going to be some type of hidden hole in that ocean where, although we can see him standing there, we're still going to drop through and something bad is going to happen. That's not what our Father does to us. He wants to walk with us. And so I think about that, how much time has passed, how many things we have missed out on. I shared not too long ago on one of the other episodes that, there have been years and years and years of time that I feel was wasted because I questioned so much, and I tried to do things according to the way that everybody else wanted me to do them. And I thought that I needed to, follow what everyone else said. And I feel like all that time was wasted. But I know all that matters is that the focus on where I am at now in my life, in my family, and what we are doing right now for the Lord is all that matters. I can't continue to look back at the time that was wasted. I have to look straight ahead at what He is trying to do now, what He wants to accomplish in our lives, what He wants to use us for. And the same thing goes for you. What is He wanting to use you for? Quit looking back at the past. Quit looking at the 40 years that you wandered in the wilderness and start to walk straight so that you can make it to the destination so much faster than what you did the last time, because it is not God who was holding up the promises that He promised us. It is us that is holding up actually getting to those promises. So we have to stop doubting. We have to stop complaining. We have to stop questioning everything and just trust in Him. His promises are true. What He spoke in His word and what He speaks to you individually in your own quiet time with Him are true. Don't allow the enemy or anybody in your life to make you think different. Because if He spoke it to you and you know He spoke it to you, then believe it. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. And I know that can be conflicting sometimes with the way that we think, because we don't want to hurt anybody. We don't want to make someone feel like their words don't matter. We don't want to have some type of disagreement or disconnect with the people that we love. But sometimes they can speak a little too much of their own thought process and their own mindset into the plan that God has for you. And those are the detours that I'm talking about. It's not that His promises are not still there. We end up running into so many detours and taking the long road, taking the long way around, when we could have made it there a lot faster. And so I just wanted to share that with you today, because I have seen this in my own personal life. I have seen it in so many, friends and family. So many people living the purpose that God has created them for. And they're holding on, and I'm talking about myself too, holding on to all of the regrets and wishing we would have done it a different way. There is no time left for that. We cannot continue to waste time, but we have to move forward. Let that go. Release it. And just operate today in who it is that you know that you are. Operate in who you know you are. Even if you are not quite there yet, begin to act as though you are there. Another quick story, there were moments in, building and establishing our business where people they would talk to us and they would say, wow, you've established your business, your website, everything is just in order. And can you help me? Can you show me how to do that? Can you train me? Can you teach me? And in those moments we were sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, if these people only knew, we haven't even worked with anybody yet. We haven't even, established a client base. We're still in that preparation and growing phase. But because we chose to walk in it as though we were already doing it, and we appeared to be something that we knew we weren't quite yet, manifested in the physical, that's what you want people to see. You want them to see who you are, as you know you are going to be, even though you may not quite be there yet. And I pray that encourages you today, because that is powerful, to walk established in what God has called and created you to be, even if you're not there yet, because that is faith. That's seeing yourself as who God has called you to be and not as who the world sees you as now. And so, if this didn't encourage you, it encouraged me. I am so excited. You guys don't maybe you do realize how blessed and how favored and just how amazing your gift, your talent, your abilities, your purpose is. Somebody needs you. Somebody needs that God that is inside of you, that love, that encouragement. And so go out there and operate in who you know you are, whether you're there yet or not. And I will talk to you next week. Have a blessed day. God bless.